Hi y'all, I'm Allison. Let's play around and just drop it to add more books to my little pile of possibilities for November to hopefully be used during a round of Bingo Maze. And today we're going to be focusing on the extra reading challenges that I'll be doing. Buzzword Covers, and Aeldia Adventures. We're going to pick 3 months worth for that one. Now, before we can get started, there is a little bit more setup that we need to do for the board. I've already randomly put the numbers down at the bottom. We need to determine which one's going to be the wild spot. To do that, we've got little stars that are matching colors. So whichever one I pick, that number will be replaced with a wild. And we're going to go with this right here. So blue is now wild, which was the number 2. All right, starting off with Buzzword, our prompt for the month of November is never. You have to have the word never in the title. I have 3 physical books and 3 digital that we'll be putting up, so let me grab them. I lied, I have 2 physical. Never a Hero, which is the second book to Only a Monster, YA Fantasy. Okay, I have a cozy mystery, Never Buried. Here's the cover. I have another digital book, Darcy and Anne. It is a truth universally acknowledged that Lady Catherine will never find a husband for Anne. Subtitles count, and that's a doozy of a subtitle. Let's see, I've got another physical book, speaking of subtitles, and that is Fart Proudly. Writings of Benjamin Franklin you never read in school. This was edited by Carl Chapesky. I don't know. I don't have my reading glasses on. Anyway, short nonfiction of essays by Ben Franklin. Then I have a third digital, Evermore. This is YA Fantasy. Here's a cover. And this one got cheerleaders, kind of gothic, playing off of Edgar Allan Poe's poem, The Raven, with Nevermore. I really enjoyed it the first time I read it. It was like one of the first digital books I ever read. So I'm looking forward to potentially getting back into it again. Giving that puppy a reread. Now, you'll notice I don't have a 6th one. So I'm giving myself an extra wild. So that spot is just going to remain empty. There will be a number there. And if it comes up, I get to pick which book I want out of those. So let's assign numbers to the books. I'm not looking at it. Not that it would make any difference. I had to pull the 2 because it's wild on the board. It's not actually up there. Okay, now we need rocks. Because, of course, I can't decide where I drop the little disc on my own. I have to have some way to randomize that. Simply because this could potentially turn into a skill game. That's why I do it this way. And I like to complicate it. Oh, wild. Okay, I get to drop it anywhere I want. Okay, I'm not going to try to aim. I don't think. Oh, actually, 3 or 6 would be good. Never Buried or the Nevermore. There's the covers. So I'm gonna, of course, those are on, here's 3, here's 6. Okay, I'm just gonna go, let's drop it here. 3, that was one of the ones I wanted. What is it? Never Buried. Okay, the cover is really cute on this one. I don't know what it's about. I believe it starts a series. Let me look it up real quick and give you a really short description of it. Okay, it's supposed to be a funny, fast-paced, clever mystery. And it does start a series. Actually, you can see that on the cover. Lee something or other by Eddie Clare. The truth about what happened in 1949 went to Paul Fisher's grave. Too bad his body didn't. Now we're going to have Lee. She is a advertising copyright editor. And when she moves into her cousin's refurbished Victorian home, she didn't expect to find any buried secrets because even though trouble seems to find her, and she finds a corpse. So I'm assuming it's going to be this Fisher guy. And yeah, because apparently the whole town knows that there is a history attached to her cousin's house. And it ties into the death of 2 mysterious deaths back in 1949. And someone wants Lee and her cousin out of the house. But they don't know how, stubborn these girls are going to be. So it's supposed to be light on the funny, lighthearted, fast side of things. So we'll see. I'm really excited to try this one out. I've been looking at this cover constantly when I'm going through my Nook. And I've always thought it was quite cozy looking. So finally get to find out if the cover actually leads to a good one. Okay, I'm rambling. Let me clear this and then we'll set up for Buzzword covers. Okay, for this one, we need food and or drink on the cover. And I have all physical books. So there is The Late Mrs. Willoughby, which is part 2 of the Darcy and Miss Tilney mysteries. I really enjoyed the first one. But if you look closely, there is a glass of spilled wine down here in front of our hand. And then I'm bringing back The Queen of Poisons. This is part 3 in the Marlowe Murder Mystery Club. And we obviously have a spilled substance of something, but it's coming out of a coffee cup. I would assume it's poison and not coffee, but they're going to be led to believe it's coffee. Then we have The No Show by Beth O'Leary, contemporary romance, and up here in this corner, she is partaking of a beverage. A little more obvious, I have The Death in Croissants. Have a croissant. This is another cozy mystery, I think set in England. And then we have With the Fire on High, Elizabeth Escovedo, which I still have not gotten to, and we have some fruit all over the cover. And of course, my 6th book for that was going to be Never Buried. I was going to use the teacup, and that book actually won. So I need to find something else. And I don't know where all the food is hiding. Or we're just going to make it a wild spot again. I could be looking forever. As soon as I turn off the camera, though, of course, I will find 5 of them. But we're just going to... If it lands on that one, then I get to pick. Okay, let's see where we drop it at. And it's going to go in the 6th slot. Number 7. Okay, I'm not upset by this. So I get some historical fiction, cozy mystery. Historical fiction, cozy mystery. The sequel of The Murder of Mr. Wickham by Claudia Gray. And this is The Late Mrs. Willoughby. So we've got Darcy and Elizabeth's son, Jonathan, teamed up with the Tilneys from Northanger Abbey, their daughter, I believe Julia, and they are going to be solving another case at I would assume, a house party. So we're going to have a locked room environment with historical fiction with all of Jane Austen's characters. I really enjoyed the first book, and I am looking forward to checking out the second one. Okay, now we're going to switch on over to Aeldia Adventures, and we're going all the way back to June. So carrying along Nasilla's little path, she was walking along, she came across the Sun Dancer, and she is going to stick around and sketch them. So for June, the 5D prompt was, I need something with a fantasy creature in it. So I pulled some books. Okay, we've got part 2 in the Need series. This is an old one, YA, Fairies. So this one is captivating. Fairies are fantasy creatures. And then this is a placeholder. The second one in the Aragon is Brasinger, and it's upstairs in my son's room. But we'll know. Imagine the red cover. And of course, the fantastical creature in that would be dragons. Then I have Forest Born. I believe it was shape-shifting. I know it was something, shape-shifting into a raven, I believe it was. Love this book. Really want to read the second one, which is Wildbound. But I want to go back and reread this before I do that. So this would be a reread. And I highly recommend that one, especially if you like the Haunted Forest, A Curse, and so good. Okay, I'm going to finish up the trilogy. Maggie Stiefvater, Forever. We got werewolves, and I found out there is a 4th book in this, which I didn't know about. And then a book that I actually got to have a phoenix on the cover for a prompt from Aeldia Adventures, I think last year. The Forest Where the Phoenix Sleeps. This is book 1 in the series by Brooke Marley Jones. And I haven't read it, but we do have a lot of fantastical monsters in here. Oh, and then I am going to put up Hex, which is part 2 in the Iron Druid Chronicles. It's on my Nook. And we've got the Irish Wolfhound that can speak telepathically to our main guy, and I'm blank on his name, but there's a lot of Celtic mythology in this one. There's witches and zombies and vampires and one of the Iron Druid Chronicles. So next will be this one. All right, let's draw the rock, see where it drops. It's starting to melt. And we're gonna put it in the 4th slot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Number 7. I get to reread Forestborn. Not upset by that at all. Really, really enjoyed it the first time. So looking forward to seeing if it actually holds up as highly as I remember. Okay, for July, we continue on to 70 and have to write a report on a 5-star prediction. So let me grab those books. And I did get through Storygraph to make sure that when I bought it, I officially tagged it with a 5-star prediction. So we have the reappearance of Rachel Price. I love Holly Jackson. That was all I needed to know to make that list. A good girl's guide to murder. Loved it. Family of Liars. E. Lockhart. I loved the first one, which was We Were Liars. And I'm really looking forward to reading this. This is a prequel to the other one. And then Such Charming Liars. Seems to have a theme. Karen M. McManus, another one of my favorite YA thriller writers. Pretty much on hers. I just buy it if I see her name. Then Powerful. This is the novella that is after Powerful or Powerless before, I think, Reckless, or I don't remember the order. But anyway, this is next in that one. Absolutely love Powerless. And then Worth Fighting For. This is part 5 in the adult retellings of the Disney tales. This one is Mulan, and we're going to be on Like a Dude Ranch this time. Contemporary romance. Yeah, so we're going to have like corporate takeover, and he's a cowboy. Yeah, something about corporate acquisition and everything. But Mulan, retold. And then, didn't get to this in October. The Box in the Woods, Maureen Johnson. I really want to read this one. I hope it wins. Okay, we're going to drop it at I dropped the thing 3rd slot, if I can. Let me just show it to you. 1, 2, 3. Ready? It went all the way over to 4. Darn it, I wanted 5. But you know what? It's okay. I am looking forward to this, and this is one of the shorter ones. Like I said, this is a prequel of We Were Liars, which I absolutely love. So I'm really excited to read this one. All right, then. Nasilla is going to go over to 8D. So when she's done writing her review and everything, she's just going to hang out and stargaze, I guess, until the morning. So we need books with stars on the covers. This one actually tripped me up a little bit. So I have A Most Agreeable Murder by Julia Seals. And if you look closely, up here we've got some little stars. Another historical fiction, I would assume cozy mystery. I believe that one's set in the Victorian era. I'm not positive. We have My Lady's Choosing, historical romance. And we've got a little stars up in the sky. And this one is an interactive romance. You make choices as you're reading on which, do you do this or that? And then I'll direct you to a different page. Then I have Aurora Rising, YA sci-fi. We have constellations, definitely stars. Then I have this beautiful Barnes & Noble edition of Peter Pan with stars all over the cover. I hope that didn't blind you. And I have A Deadly Education. I think these are little stars. If not, they're going to count. I think that's what's intended. This is a dark academia, I think secret society kind of thing. And I was a little too efficient putting away my books. I was planning to double check the ones that weren't chosen to look for stars. And I was putting them away as I went. This is what I get. Okay, come on, Brandon Sanderson. Don't let me down. All right, would you... This little dusting, what do we call these stars? Oh, no, I think it's a stretch. Thought for sure this would have them. All right, we're just going to make that one wild because I can't think of another book and I don't want to look all day. So if the last spot is chosen, then I get to pick. And there's no rhyme or reason to how I'm putting these up here. I'm just putting them any which way. All right, so let's find out where I get to drop it. And it goes in the 6th slot again. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Number 1. Okay, so I get another historical mystery. I think, yeah, that'll be the 2nd for this one. And that'll bring me up to August on the Aeldia Adventures. Getting close, provided that I actually read the books, but you know how that can go sometimes. But here's my little stack. I added my new nook for the digital book, which was Never Buried. All right, so that wraps it up for Just Drop It. I hope you'll be sticking around, and I'll be playing Bingo Maze very, very soon, if all goes well. Bye till then.